Hello everyone. How are you? I'm back for social studies. Okay, class. So yesterday we talked about the Athenian children, right? And we learned that boys and girls in Athens, okay, if you're a child in Athens, if you're a boy or a girl, you both have different experience, right? Your life is totally different from each other if you're a boy or if you're a girl in Athens. Now we learned that for boys they pretty much does a lot of things, right? Like they learn a lot of things while growing up. Okay, so they started going to school at 7, and then they learn to read and write. They study poems. They go into sports. Okay, they what else they do um, they play music. They learn how to play music. They study math, and also they goes to military training, right? When they were 18, and then they get to stand in front of the city council of Athens and promises three things, and after that they become citizen of Athens. Remember, only men can be citizen in Athens, right? In Athens. So, what are the three things they have to promise, class? You remember? Okay, so first they have to promise never to run during battles. Okay, if there's war, they shouldn't be running. Okay, they have to fight till the end. And second is they should never disobey never disobey the law. Okay, the laws. And third one is to never forget to worship their gods. So those are three things, and after they made this promise, then they become citizen of Athens. Now, how about the girls? The girls is totally different, right, class? If the boys goes to school, the girls, what do? They don't go to school, right? They learn just what their mother taught them. Okay, so what are the things the mothers teaches their children in Athens class? The girls, they have to learn the skills of doing things in the house. Basically, it's house chores. Okay, like what women do. What are those? They clean the house. They cook. They what else do they cook, they wash the clothes, okay, they weave clothing. So those are the kind of things they do. They boast the slaves actually. Alright, and so those are the things that the girls has to learn, and by 12 years old the girls supposed to know already all the skills. But also they also get to be they also taught by their mother to like to count, okay, arithmetics, and also to read and write. But they don't go to school like the boys. Only the mother was the one teaching them the skills they needed so that they can take care of their family when they get their own family. All right, so now how about in Sparta? Okay, so Sparta is totally different from Athens, class. If Athens was a city-state that practices democracy, where citizens get involved in public decision, like making public decisions, decisions for the city. In Sparta, it's different. Sparta was ruled by two kings. Okay, they were ruled by two kings, and only a few people get to get involved in the public affairs. Okay, but Sparta were really patriotic. They love their city state, and they all have great warriors, and they are proud of being tough. But Athens and Sparta class were the most powerful city states in ancient Greece. These two, Sparta and Athens. Now, so today we're going to be learning what life is growing up in Sparta. If you are a boy in Sparta, like what do you think you would do? Okay, so we're gonna be learning that one. Okay, now, so I want you to listen as I read. Okay, so Diocles. Okay, Diocles, a 12-year-old boy, Spartan boy, so people that live in Sparta are called Spartan. Okay, Spartans. So, Diocles, a 12-year-old boy, Spartan boy, mumbled as he was shoved from behind, and he saw that his attacker was Thalias. Okay, he was attacked by Thalias, and he was another Spartan boy of his age. Okay, they are the same age. Now, before Thalias could hit him again, Diocles shoved back. That means he fought back. Okay, before he received another hit from Thalias, Diocles fought back. Now, other boys, older and younger, gathered around and cheered the fighters on. So they're like, yay, go, go Thalias, go Diocles. So, okay, so everyone were like cheering the fighters. Now, including two men also watching the fight. Now the boys fought hard, kicking and punching and rolling on the ground. Finally, as Thalias started to stand up, Diocles yanked his ankle. Okay? And then Thalias fell hard, very hard, onto his back. Diocles jumped up and stood over Thalias, ready to keep fighting again. Now Thalias lay on the dirt, his breath knocked out. Okay, so he's like knocked off. Okay, he was like got hit by a punch and he was knocked out. So as Diocles brushed the dirt off himself, one of the men who had been watching stopped the fight. Finally, it was stopped. Okay, it was Diocles' teacher. You fought well, Diocles. That's what the teacher says. You fought well, Diocles. Thalias, he continued, you are punished because you lose the fight. You will run 10 times around the track. But because you were brave enough to start the fight, you may eat in the dining hall tonight. So instead of the teacher getting mad because the boys were fighting, what he did is he applauded the one who won, who was Diocles, right? And then he punishes the one that loses the fight, who was Thalias. What was the punishment? He has to run around the track 10 times, okay? So that's his punishment, but he was also rewarded by eating to eat in the hallway, in the dining hall, because of the bravery of starting the fight. Okay? Listen carefully, okay, class? So Thalias said, yes, sir, and he started running. Okay? So he didn't say, oh, no, but he said, yes, sir, and start running the laps. Now, the class had takes a little time early in the morning learning to read and write. Okay, but the rest of the day, the boys had spent running, jumping, wrestling, boxing, doing gymnastics, and throwing the discus. Remember discus? Like the one that was like a frisbee, but heavier than frisbee. Okay, the Athens does that too, right? The boys. On other days, they might hunt or practice other survival skills. It was important that the Spartan men and boys be strong so they could control their slaves at home and be ready to fight when Sparta went to war. So it is very important for Spartan men to be strong so that they can control the slaves at home and they are ready to fight during war. So that's why they're training, okay? Like half of the day they spend reading and writing, and half of the day they spend it, wrestling, running, and, a lot of like sporty things, okay? Now, like all Spartan boys, Diocles have moved away from his family when he was at the age of 7. He had been assigned to a group with several other boys, and for the past 5 years, he had spent his days and night with them. Tonight, as every night, the boys would sleep outside under the stars. Okay, so they sleep outside, not inside, but outside. It would be a little chilly. He and the other boys were allowed to have only one piece of clothing, okay, and no blanket. So one piece of clothing and no blanket. But there was a reason for this, okay? So the Spartans believed that a little cold weather helped a boy grow up to be a tough, sturdy soldier. Okay, so that's the reason why they were asked to sleep outside with only one piece of clothing and no blanket, even if it's chilly, because they believe that it helps them become tough and sturdy soldier. So there were few luxuries in Sparta. A few. Boys kept their heads shaved. Okay, their heads were shaved. Perfumes, fancy foods, and other delicacies were outlawed. That means it's not allowed. You cannot wear a perfume. You cannot have fancy things with you. Nothing. Okay, so there were no plays. Some dancing was allowed, but only because adults believe dancing improved the boys' footwork. Okay, so a useful skill when they become soldier. So they are allowed to dance because it helps their footwork. Okay, so when they become soldiers, they can use that skill. So everything the Spartans did was for their city-state. When Diocles turned 20, he would become a soldier, which he would remain until he was 60 years old. Okay, so he becomes soldiers from 20 years old to 60 years old. Spartan men, above all, had to be brave soldiers. Diocles was proud to be a Spartan. So that's what it is if you're a boy growing up in Sparta. Okay, you gotta learn to read and write. So when you're 7 years old, you have to leave home and stay with all the other boys, like in a group. They stay together, and then you have to spend your life there until you turn 20 years old. Okay, so you get to study, like read and write, and then half of the day you do all the sporty things to get your body strong and be ready for becoming a soldier. So that's basically it is if you're a boy in Sparta. Now, think about it, class. Is it the same with the boys in Athens? What do you think? Can you compare the boys in Athens and the boys in Sparta? What do you think? Oh, interesting, right? So, uh, so is there something interesting that strikes you when we are discussing about the boys in Sparta when they're growing up? Okay, so well, I think the fight is for training to it's a training for them. Okay, if you won the fight, you are being uploaded. Okay, if you're the one starting the fight, they are really appreciative about it because you're very brave. So that's why Spartans are really tough and brave soldiers, class. Okay, so do you like the Spartan ideas, class? So what do you want to be? Do you want to be an Athenian boy or a Spartan boy? Let me know, okay? Do the activity you have that I posted, okay? So let's see. You want to be an Athenian boy or you want to be a Spartan boy, class? Okay, I'm excited to know which one do you want to be. Okay, tomorrow we're gonna be talking the other half of life in Sparta, class. Okay, so I'll see you again tomorrow, and let me know. You want to be a Spartan or you want to be an Athenian boy? Okay, class. Bye-bye.